So here we are after the draft. Dan Orlovsky, where does it go from here, and what do you expect Cam Newton to bring whatever team signs him?
Well, first of all, we know that there are no starting quarterback jobs open, right? So that the option for Cam to sign on and be someone's starter is zero. So Cam's got to go, where is the best place for me to go to sit in the backup role, but potentially have the opportunity to get on the field and prove I'm healthy and still the capable player? There's like 5 or 6 teams that you could make a justifiable case that they should be calling Cam Newton. The Denver Broncos have a young quarterback, but just in case. You could say the Tennessee Titans. You could say the Pittsburgh Steelers. You could say the Seattle Seahawks. You could say the Dallas Cowboys, because we don't know what's going to happen with Dak. And also, these teams are playoff caliber football teams. Tennessee and Pittsburgh and Seattle and Dallas, they're all playoff teams. And you don't want to miss the playoffs because of the one game your starter may miss, that you don't have a good, viable, winning option. And so I don't know where it's going to end. It should be one of those teams that goes, I don't want to make the mistake of not having the right guy for that one game that we need him, and that could be the difference between the 1 seed and the 6 seed.
Nick, how confident are you that that's the way Cam Newton views himself right now?
Yeah, I certainly don't think he views himself that way, but it doesn't matter necessarily. But I disagree with Dan in that there aren't any starting jobs available. I think New England, that job is still available. I think Cam may not end up there because they don't have the cap space, but I disagree with the idea that he doesn't fit that system. Josh McDaniels won games with Tim Tebow as his quarterback. There's smart coaches out there in New England. They'll find a way to build around that talent. If Cam Newton really wants to reestablish his value, and it sucks that he ends up in this position, but he might need to take a really drastic pay cut and go to that situation where he can actually start for a whole season. I don't think there's anywhere else that he can start for a whole season except for in New England.
Go ahead, Danny.
Dom, I think your point to New England is valid, and the point of Tebow is a great point, and it brings me back to my kind of one of my more important questions for Cam is, are you willing to still be a runner? Because to your point, McDaniels did win with Tebow, but he had Eric Decker and Demaryius Thomas on the outside, and he was used as a runner. Tebow was still a runner, and so if Cam's willing to continue to be a 100-carry guy for the season, cool, we could talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason to suggest that he's not. He hasn't said anything. He hasn't behaved in any way to suggest that he's not. But in New England, they don't have any weapons. Who's a quarterback who is more accomplished with limited weapons around him than Cam Newton? It seems like Cam Newton is the type of flexible, talented guy that allows you to cut corners in other places, which is what it seems like Bill Belichick likes to do. He likes to find some guys that are flexible and unique and then save money on the defensive side of the ball with the front, save money on the offensive side of the ball with receivers because Tom Brady is so efficient. Like, it seems like Cam may not fit in the traditional way that you think about a quarterback, but he fits in the way that the Patriots like to build a team.
And I would add quickly, Dan, that the idea of Cam running the football, it's one thing for him to be willing. It's another thing for him to be able at this stage with all the hits that he's taken in his career.